Somewhere right now, every 40 seconds, someone in the world is having a stroke. And the terrifying truth is, it can happen to anyone. Young, old, healthy, or not. A stroke is not just a medical emergency. It is a race against time measured in seconds, not minutes. In today's video, we are going to go inside a human brain minute by minute and watch exactly what happens during a stroke. We will see what kills brain cells, what symptoms your body desperately tries to send you, how doctors race to save your brain, and what recovery actually looks like. Because when a stroke happens every single minute that passes, 1.9 million brain cells die, permanently. Before we watch a stroke happen, we need to understand the incredible machine it attacks. Your brain is the most complex object in the known universe, containing roughly 86 billion neurons. Each neuron connects to up to 10,000 others, forming a network more complex than any computer ever built. Every thought you have, every memory you hold, every movement you make, it all runs on electrical signals jumping between these neurons. But neurons have one critical weakness. They are extraordinarily hungry. They need a constant supply of oxygen and glucose to survive. Your brain is only 2% of your body weight, yet it consumes 20% of all your oxygen. This oxygen arrives through 4 major arteries, 2 carotid arteries in the front and 2 vertebral arteries in the back of the neck. These arteries branch into progressively smaller vessels, eventually reaching capillaries thinner than a human hair, feeding every corner of your brain. Different regions of your brain control completely different functions. And where a stroke hits determines everything. A stroke in the left hemisphere can steal your ability to speak. A stroke in the cerebellum destroys your balance. A brainstem stroke can stop your breathing entirely. Now, let us watch a stroke happen. We are following an ischemic stroke, the most common type, caused by a blood clot blocking an artery to the brain. Minute 0, somewhere in the body, often the heart, a blood clot is formed. The clot breaks free and enters the bloodstream, beginning its deadly journey towards the brain. Minute 1, the clot reaches the neck and enters the carotid artery, heading directly to the brain. It lodges in the middle cerebral artery, one of the brain's most critical blood supply routes. Minute 2, blood flow stops. Oxygen delivery to millions of neurons ceases instantly. The neurons in the direct blockage zone, the ischemic core, begin dying within 2 to 3 minutes without oxygen. Minute 4. The brain panics. Neurons begin firing chaotically, sending desperate distress signals through the nervous system. This is what causes the sudden symptoms. The arm weakness, the facial droop, the confusion. Your brain is screaming for help. Minute 6. Surrounding the dead core is a zone called the penumbra. Injured but not yet dead neurons desperately clinging to life. The penumbra is the battleground. These neurons can still be saved if blood flow is restored fast enough. Minute 10. The brain begins to swell. Dead cells release their contents, triggering inflammation that damages surrounding tissue. Minute 15. Blood vessels near the stroke zone begin to leak. A condition called cerebral edema begins building. Minute 20. If untreated, the stroke continues expanding. The penumbra neurons, once savable, begin crossing into permanent death. 30 minutes in, without treatment, an area of brain the size of a golf ball may already be permanently lost. 90 minutes without treatment. The equivalent damage of aging your brain 3.6 years occurs every single hour. Now, not all strokes are the same. There are 2 main types, and they require completely different treatments. 87% of strokes are ischemic, caused by a blockage cutting off blood supply. But 13% are hemorrhagic strokes, where a blood vessel inside the brain actually ruptures and bleeds. In a hemorrhagic stroke, blood floods into brain tissue compressing neurons, increasing pressure inside the skull, and cutting off surrounding blood supply. There is also a third type, the TIA, or transient ischemic attack, a warning stroke that lasts only minutes, but is a screaming alarm that a major stroke is coming. 1 in 3 people who have a TIA will have a full stroke within a year, and half of those within 48 hours. A hemorrhagic stroke can also be caused by an aneurysm, a balloon-like bulge in a blood vessel that has been silently growing for years. When an aneurysm ruptures, it sends an explosion of blood into the space around the brain, causing what patients describe as the worst headache of their life. Understanding which type of stroke is happening is critical, because the treatment for ischemic stroke can actually make a hemorrhagic stroke fatal. So, how do you know if someone is having a stroke? The answer could save your life or the life of someone you love. Doctors use the acronym FAST, and every letter could mean the difference between full recovery and permanent disability. F is for face. Ask the person to smile. If one side of their face droops, that is stroke. A is for arms. Ask them to raise both arms. If one arm drifts downward, that is stroke. S is for speech. Ask them to repeat a simple sentence. Slurred, strange, or no speech, that is stroke. T is for time. The moment you see any of these signs, call emergency services immediately. Do not wait. There is also B fast, adding balance loss, and sudden eye changes before the original acronym. Now the treatment. You have arrived at the hospital. You have what doctors call the golden window. For ischemic stroke, the most powerful treatment is TPA, a clot-busting drug that must be given within 4.5 hours of symptom onset. But the gold standard treatment is mechanical thrombectomy, where surgeons actually physically remove the clot from inside your brain. The moment blood flow is restored, neurons in the penumbra that were on the edge of death begin to recover. For hemorrhagic stroke, treatment is completely different. Surgeons may need to relieve pressure on the brain or repair the ruptured vessel. Time saved is brain saved. Getting treatment 1 hour faster can mean the difference between walking out of the hospital or never walking again. Surviving a stroke is only the beginning. The brain that emerges from a stroke is fundamentally changed, and what happens next is one of the most remarkable stories in all of medicine. The brain has an extraordinary ability called neuroplasticity, the power to rewire itself to build new pathways around damaged areas. In the weeks and months after a stroke, surviving neurons begin sending out new branches, dendrites literally growing toward other neurons to form new connections. This is why stroke rehabilitation is so powerful. Every therapy session, every movement, every word practiced is literally building new neural pathways. Speech therapy literally rewires the brain's language network. In some cases, moving language function from damaged left hemisphere entirely to the right hemisphere. Young brains recover faster, but even elderly brains show remarkable plasticity with the right rehabilitation. The first 30 days after a stroke are the most critical for recovery. The brain is in a heightened plasticity state, desperate to rebuild. Now, the most important question. How do you prevent a stroke from happening at all? High blood pressure is the single biggest risk factor for stroke, responsible for nearly half of all strokes worldwide. Controlling your blood pressure through diet, exercise, and medication if needed can reduce your stroke risk by up to 40%. Atrial fibrillation, an irregular heart rhythm, causes 1 in 5 strokes by allowing blood to pool and clot in the heart. Diabetes doubles your stroke risk. Smoking nearly doubles it. Obesity, high cholesterol, and physical inactivity all compound the danger. But here is what is remarkable. Up to 80% of strokes are preventable through lifestyle changes alone. Exercise as little as 30 minutes of moderate activity 5 times a week reduces stroke risk by up to 27%. Your brain is the most magnificent structure in the universe. It deserves every protection you can give it. Because when the lights go out inside your brain, every second spent waiting is a second you cannot get back.